First of all, this isn't a law, this is a religious edict. So how likely is it that it can be changed?
This is the basic problem. In Saudi Arabia, unlike any other country in the Middle East, there's tension between the religious authorities and the government, the monarchy, and that is historical. It goes back to the 18th century when Al-Wahhab, the Imam, and the Saudi leader at the time got together and started what is now modern Saudi Arabia. But what we're seeing here is that the religious authorities confer legitimacy on the government and vice versa.
The government cannot overrule this in any way?
And the government can't overrule it. It's a symbiotic relationship.
What happens, for example, if a woman who's unable to drive herself to hospital dies or one of her children dies?
Well, it's too bad, really.
So it doesn't sort of rate a mention much in the country, or?
Well, the religious laws are primary there. And this is the real problem. Even if you wanted women to drive, they still would be restricted because of the guardianship laws. They can't do very much without a male who controls everything about their daily life, including leaving the house, getting medical attention or whatever, and their dress, of course, and mixing of the sexes is another problem. So if you had women driving, it creates all sorts of other problems, and that
everything
is the
else
basic.
would have to come
yes,
down.
Yes, it will unravel the system.
Domino theory.
Yeah.
I've read that only 32 women, at least publicly, stated that they defied the ban. I just wonder, that doesn't sound a particularly significant number. So was a very strong message sent to both the ruling family and to the clerics?
I think so. I think it was a worry beforehand, and it was predicted that not many would come out because they were severely constrained by what happened to Manal al-Sharif. She was the one who came out, she was videoed, and she started the campaign, the current campaign, and she was arrested, she was detained for 9 days. And so people are very worried. But I have read that men have come out in support. There was one man who had his wife driving. He was in the passenger seat. And he said, I want my wife to be more independent. So there's a lot of support.
And it is an ongoing movement. It wasn't just
yes,
Friday.
That's right. It's an ongoing movement. It really started in the 1990s with Wajiha al-Huwaida, and it's ongoing. And I think what the women really want is more than that. They are actually the new suffragettes. They want to vote. They want to be empowered so that they can make a contribution economically, socially, and politically.
And just briefly, how do the rights of Saudi women compare when you look at women in other countries such as Yemen and Egypt?
They're much more restricted in Saudi Arabia because of this Wahhabi religion, which is very puritanical and wants to keep women repressed. And so they need to help the king, who has actually brought in a lot of reforms. They need to let him know that there's a lot of grassroots, and they need grassroots help from the outside too. And that's happening as well, because they've got 10,000 people signing up for a petition in the United States for women to drive.
Okay, author and commentator Ida Lichter, many thanks for coming in and speaking with us on ABC News 24.
Thank you, Jay.